what it was. Y'all know who it is. And y'all tuned in with priceless knowledge of self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight, man. And look, I hope everybody chilling. I hope everybody feeling well, because it's time to do it big. See, I don't know what day it is or whatever city, state, country, continent, planet, density, or dimension you're currently coded in. But in this one, we kind of like to do it big on Fridays. And see what I mean by that? I mean, we finna smile, okay? We finna speak nothing but positivity. I'm finna hit y'all with some of this priceless knowledge. And guess what? We're gonna be blessed in doing so. That's the beauty of it. And also what I mean by doing it big is that this right here, this a little something about those people that have Jupiter in the 11th house of their natal chart. Yeah. And see, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about Jupiter. I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown about the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. Then after that, I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown of what the 11th house of the astrological chart is actually all about. And then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination, which fortunately for you, that's what I do best. It don't win out on them, But see right there. Let's get it cracking. So Jupiter, this is the planet of luck, and I also like to call it the thinking man's planet, and that's because it rules over higher learning, and it really gives us a yin for exploring ideas both intellectually and spiritually. Okay, Jupiter rules over the sign of Sagittarius in the 9th house of the astrological chart. And if you ask a traditional astrologer, and if you ask me, I say that it rules over Pisces in the 12th house of the astrological chart to a lesser degree as well, man. And intellectually speaking, Jupiter really helps us in formulating our ideology. And on a more spiritual sense, Jupiter also lords over religion and philosophy and theology. And, this planet concerns itself with long distance travel, ethical and moral values, and our sense of optimism. Okay. Luck and good fortune are really going to come wherever Jupiter shows up in the chart and whenever you employ the characteristics of the sign that it's in. Okay. And, it's the most kind and benevolent energy that there is in the whole zodiac, man. And it really wants you to flourish in positive ways. But at the same time, there can be too much of a good thing. Understand that. So with Jupiter, you got to be mindful of complacency and overindulgence and assuming that you have everything under control, because Jupiter doesn't want you to have things under control. Okay. Jupiter doesn't want you to know limits. Jupiter wants to expand. It's about expansion. It wants to blow past all limits. It wants to do it as big as possible. And that's not always good for you. You understand? Okay. But it does feel good though. It does feel good though. Now we're talking about the house placement of Jupiter. Let me tell you also that this is where your luck lies. This is where you're going to receive the most help from, other people and the cosmos in your journey in life. Okay. And it's also where you help yourself out the most too. Okay. So that's something to think about. Now, when we're talking about the 11th house of the astrological chart, the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius and the planets of Uranus and Saturn. And, it's here that we kind of find our goals and our objectives and our wishes and our hopes and our dreams. And, we also see our friendships and any memberships to any groups or associations that we didn't want to involve ourselves with. And the work in society represented in the 10th is released through the individual doing the activities and exhibiting the energies and that's going along in the 11th. Okay. The 11th is all about gains too. The second house. Now that's about what you're keeping. That's the money that you have. That's your possessions. Okay. That's what you're able to keep. But the 11th house shows what you're making. A lot of people don't speak on that. It also speaks to adopted children or stepchildren too. So that's something to think about. Okay. Now, when we're taking Jupiter and putting Jupiter in the 11th house, well, the thing with this one is, from the outside looking in, it's going to look like everything just comes easy for these people and the universe just supports them in every way you can imagine. And in a sense, you really couldn't be more correct. And, that's because the 11th house is all about our goals and our wishes and our objectives and, what we really want to do. And Jupiter is going to bring good luck, good fortune, and abundance wherever it shows up. Okay. So it's right here where you can see it all come together. Okay. That's real, man. You know, that there's no bullshit to that, man. This place in here could be a huge indicator for success, man. And a lot of the time it seems like good fortune just follows these folks wherever the fuck they go. Hey, I'm telling you now, in my opinion, this is actually one of the most blessed placements that there are in the whole astrological community. Or however you want to call it, man. Real talk, man. I mean, come on, man. You're taking the greatest benefic in astrology and then you're just, placing it in the house of aspirations. Okay. Ain't that a beautiful thing, man? The realm of what we hope to become, the realm of what we hope to achieve and obtain. So best believe, Jupiter right here is really, really going to bolster these people's, shit and help them utilize resources to get them wherever the fuck they want to go. Wherever the fuck they want to go. Understand that, man. They're going to be able to meet people that are going to help afford them with opportunities that they never knew existed until Jupiter placed them in their path. Okay. This one right here is also going to take that network and just blow it up. What you got to understand is the 11th house shows every single thing that comes into our life in the birth chart. Okay. And financial gain too. As we just said, okay? So that's another way that Jupiter just brings blessings by blowing up, that pocketbook. So that's a beautiful thing, man. Or at least what you have coming in. Now you're going to have to look to the second and see what's aspected between these two to see what you're keeping. That's something to think about, okay? And on another note, man, look, when it comes to work, man, these people right here, they're the people who really kind of prefer teamwork, to working by themselves. And they really do best like that, okay? And, that's really just because they simply function better when they have a group of people to work with. It's pretty simple, man. Plus, it's those same groups and those same friends and those same networks that ultimately end up opening up doors for them that they probably would have never noticed before. Like I said a minute ago, on their own. And with this one, man, it's those like-minded individuals that really bring along those opportunities in their life that they can really benefit from tremendously. So that's a beautiful thing. That's an awesome thing. and let me also say that, if Jupiter is afflicted in any way or receiving a lot of challenging aspects, let me tell you that this one can, give a motherfucker a lot of luck in the initial stages of things, but then fail to bless them with some follow through later on. Okay. Which is, that's rough, man. That can actually feel kind of cruel sometimes. You know what I mean? But it's up to you what you do with that, man. It can feel cruel when things look so promising and just fall through out of the blue. But you got to redirect and adjust, man. Okay. And Jupiter's going to bless you if you're able to do so. Okay. And moving on, let me also say that these are typically just really generous people with a lot of moral values and a really strong, strict code of ethics. That's something that's undeniable. And they feel like if they do right by the world, then eventually the world's going to do right by them. Okay. And hey, for a lot of people, that does work out. And with Jupiter here, it'll probably work out for them, man. And, these people right here probably also get into a lot of humanitarian efforts too, man, because, giving, they understand that you got to open up your hand to give. And you also have to have your hand open to receive. So that's something to think. And let's not also forget that the 11th house can speak to any adopted or stepchildren that we might have. So with Jupiter, this could mean that there's either a lot of them or it could mean that, they're very Sagittarian or they have that type of energy or they're very honest or spiritual kids, man. Or it could just mean that, this speaks to a really benevolent and beneficial relationship with them. But regardless, there's going to be another blessing in that regard. Okay. Because, a lot of times that ain't a good relationship right there when you're dealing with that. Take it from me. But I'm blessed in that regard too. And look, man, more than anything else, the 11th house speaks to our friends and any of the groups that we associate ourselves with. And having Jupiter here indicates a motherfucker with a lot of friends. I mean, it's going to take that and make them have a lot of friends. And even beyond that, the beautiful part of it all is like Jupiter right here expand these people's network. Because not only do they have a whole bunch of friends, but their circle of friends usually, turns out to be extremely beneficial for them in the end. Okay. I mean, extremely beneficial for them. Man, let me take a drink. Pardon me. Beneficial for them. And you know what? Usually I would start over and do it, but I ain't gonna do it. We're giving it to you raw today. Okay. And look, man, they really like to surround themselves with well-educated and wealthy and powerful friends, which of course, gonna put them in the right circles, This right here shows me somebody who is a citizen of the world with capital connections. You know what I'm saying? Capital connections. Okay. And, they really know how to get involved with influential people who can really help them advance in their life. Thank you, Jupiter. Okay. And the 6th house is a succeeding house also, that's following the 10th, which is an angular house. And what that means is that these two houses right here, they support and feed off each other, because all the resources of the 11th house support the career and the image of the 10th house. Understand that? And the status and the career of the 10th house pay out the dividends through the 11th. Okay. And hey, man, let me tell you, like I said, the gains that could be seen here, mucho. Mucho, man. Hey, you gotta be blessed through the whole process. But even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that, okay? And what I mean by that is that all of us have all this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And hey, that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Priceless knowledge of self. Hey, if y'all fool with me on any level, man, hit that like button right now. Share this motherfucker. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Okay? If you ain't hit the dislike button, you should be hitting the like button right now. If not, you out of line. Okay? I appreciate all the love and support. If y'all are interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support, man. For real, man. Y'all make everything I do worth it. Thank you. Keep it true.